In today's Sakhi, we're going to learn about Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji's very first day at school. And from this Sakhi, we will learn what true education and true knowledge are truly all about. So when Guru Nanak Dev Ji was just 5 years old, his father, Pita Kalu Ji, felt it was the perfect time to send him to school and begin his education. And as the Patwari, the administrator of 20 villages, Pita Kalu Ji's job involved extensive accounting and administrative tasks, skills that required a strong foundation in mathematics, arithmetic and other subjects. And he thought to himself, if my son is to take over my job and my responsibilities one day, he must be a master at mathematics and the other essential subjects. So determined to give his son the best start in life, Pita Kalu Ji decided it was time for Guru Nanak Dev Ji to go to school. And he would put him in the school of Gopal Pandha. This guy had the reputation for being an excellent, outstanding teacher, the best in the area. His students excelled under his guidance, and Pita Kalu Ji was confident Gopal Pandha would impart the knowledge his son needed. So the next day, the preparations began. Both Pita Kalu Ji and Guru Nanak Dev Ji were up early in the morning. Guru Nanak Dev Ji dressed in smart new clothes with a beautifully tied dastar on their head. He looked absolutely amazing, smart and composed, prepared to embark on this new chapter in life, one of learning and education. Holding on to his father's finger, they set off together, walking side by side towards the school, the madrasa. Mata Tripta Ji, Guruji's mother, stood in the doorway, and her heart was filled with joy and pride as she watched her young son take his first steps towards a formal education. When they arrived at the school, the madrasa, it was buzzing with the sounds of children. Some were enthusiastically reciting the times tables, others were absorbed in reading aloud. It was a lively place of learning, filled with the potential of young minds. And as they entered the school, Pita Kalu Ji guided his son to where Gopal Pandha, the respected teacher, sat waiting. Guru Nanak Dev Ji was seated near the teacher, ready to begin his lessons. Pita Kalu Ji respectfully placed some offerings before Gopal Pandha, and with a heartfelt tone he said, "Listen to my benti, listen to my plea. This is my only son, Nanak. I have brought him here so he can receive a proper education from you. Please teach him with love. I want him to become a learned, intelligent young man. When you teach him and make him into a well-educated man, then I promise I will fill your lap with wealth and money. Teach him mathematics and other subjects. He is yours now for the next 2 years." Gopal Pandha, confident in his ability, smiled. He said, "Do not worry. I will teach him well. This is what I love to do. I am the most knowledgeable and accomplished teacher around. I will not let you down." Satisfied, Pita Kalu Ji entrusted his son to the care of Gopal Pandha and left for his day's work, believing he had set the wheels in motion for his son's bright future. Guru Nanak Dev Ji sat quietly and attentively, ready to learn. And as the lessons began, something remarkable happened. Guruji absorbed absolutely everything that was taught. The Pandha taught with ease, and each time Gopal Pandha, the teacher, asked him to repeat a lesson or answer a question, whether it was a mathematical concept or a line from a text, Guru Nanak Dev Ji repeated and answered back flawlessly, with no hesitation or mistakes. The teacher watched in awe, thinking to himself, "No other child is like him. I've seen students, but none like this who are so quick to grasp every lesson. It won't take long for Nanak to learn everything. He'll be ready in just a few months, not years. And then I will receive the rewards, the money from his father far sooner than I imagined." And that evening, when Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj returned home, Mata Tripta Ji and Pita Kalu Ji were astounded at how much Guruji learnt in just one day. He repeated his lessons back perfectly, demonstrating depth of understanding, explaining concepts and mathematics and everything else. Their hearts swelled with pride as they witnessed their young son's brilliance. And the next morning, once again, Pita Kalu Ji took Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj to the madrasa, and as per the day before, eager to continue his education, he dropped him off and left for work. The family sensed that something extraordinary was unfolding. But little did they know that Guru Nanak Dev Ji's wisdom would one day transcend the boundaries of mere schooling and education and touch the hearts of countless souls throughout the world and throughout time. I mean, just look around, look at Guruji's teachings right now and what they're teaching all of us. So back to the madrasa. When Gopal Pandha saw Pita Kalu Ji arrive, he greeted him warmly, eager to share his thoughts, and he said to him, "Your son is incredibly wise and clever. He won't need to be here for more than a few months." Pita Kalu Ji's heart swelled with pride. Hearing this, he enthusiastically smiled and went to work. And on this day, Gopal Pandha made a special decision. Seeing how quickly Guru Nanak Dev Ji absorbed knowledge, he chose to separate him from the other children. He wanted to teach Guruji on a one-to-one basis, believing that Guru Nanak Dev Ji's remarkable intellect required individual attention. He seated him alone, and Guruji listened as Gopal Pandha began teaching the next lesson in the syllabus. As he finished, like yesterday, the teacher Gopal Pandha asked Guruji to repeat what he had just been taught. But this time, Guru Nanak Dev Ji remained silent. The teacher asked questions again and again, but still Guru Nanak Dev Ji did not speak. Puzzled, Gopal Pandha repeated the request, saying, "Nanak, why do you not speak today? Yesterday you learned everything perfectly, you repeated it back to me without a single mistake, but today you remained silent. I ask you questions, you don't answer. I ask you to repeat something back, you don't answer. Do what you did yesterday. These lessons will benefit you so greatly in life." Still, Guru Nanak Dev Ji did not respond. Gopal Pandha was getting angry. "If you refuse to study, I will have to punish you," he shrieked. Guru Nanak Dev Ji looked up at his teacher, his eyes calm yet filled with a deep wisdom, and in a soft voice he responded, saying, "O wise Gopal Pandha Ji, please tell me, what have you studied? And truthfully, how useful has it been to you? Do you wish to make me like you? Tell me, what is the most important thing you have ever learned? You teach accounts, but tell me, what is the true account? What is the true form of accounting? If you want to teach me that accounting, that knowledge that clears the entries in one's life account, that erases one's karam, past deeds. Teach me that." Startled by the profound nature of Guruji's questions, Gopal Pandha was momentarily speechless. He had never heard such questions before. He was amazed at the deep wisdom and the deep questioning coming from somebody so young. Collecting himself and pulling himself together, he replied, "I have studied complex mathematics, measuring land, understanding fractions, engineering, construction, and other subjects. These are the lessons that you need to become successful. Just like your father, why would you not want to learn these skills?" Guru Nanak Dev Ji listened patiently and then replied, "The things you learn, these bind you to the world. They are the chains of attachment, of ego, of the illusion of importance. The knowledge which you believe will benefit you, that will be of no use when the time comes to leave this world. When the messengers of death arrive, you will regret a life spent in these pursuits. You have dedicated your life to learning so you can show off to others and learn some knowledge that you believe is great. But it's only an illusion. It's all an illusion. This ties you to your suffering. This builds your ego. Understand? If you wish to be free, truly free, to experience true freedom, liberation, listen to the lesson in accounting that I am going to teach you." Gopal Pandha stood frozen, his mind racing, unable to grasp the depth of what he was hearing. And in that moment, the teacher became the student, and the young boy sitting before him, wise beyond his years, taught him. And he was about to reveal the true meaning of knowledge, one that transcends the material world and touches the essence of the soul itself. And Guruji then recited this Shabad: "Jal mohe kas maskar, mat kagad kar sar, pao kalam kar chit lekhari, gur pach lik bichar, naam lik naam salah lik, antara paravar." Guruji repeated the Shabad. The complete Shabad can be found at Ang 16 of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And this was the first Shabad that Guru Nanak Dev Ji uttered. And he uttered this first Shabad to help Gopal Pandha cross the vicious world ocean of ego and attachment and pride. And in helping Gopal Pandha, Guruji helped each and every one of us and provided us with this immortal lesson. Guruji then broke down and explained the Shabad to the teacher. Pandha ji, Jal mohe kas maskar mat kagad kar sar. Burn your attachments. And we all have attachments to money, possessions, people, family, our bodies, our homes and belongings. Burn these attachments. Because these things that we're attached to, money, possessions, positions of power, these things that we own, they own us and we become slaves of these things. And to get freedom, we need to burn them. Burn these false attachments into ash and take the ash and grind it into ink. You see, back in the day, ink was made by burning organic materials and then grinding it down into ash, grinding the ash down into a paste which was used to make the ink. So Guruji is saying, burn your emotional attachments, burn them, but not just in any fire. Which fire? The fire of spiritual wisdom, Gurmat Vichar. Then grind the ash into ink. The grinding down, that process is the repetition of Naam. The repetition of Naam is a grinding process. It grinds down the vices, lust, anger, greed, attachment, ego. It grinds down the effects of the dunya, slander, hate, jealousy. The repetition of Naam can only be done through Prem, and thus ink is made. And having full faith in the Guru, that is the ink. Guruji goes on to say, make intellect the paper, and make your love for God the pen. Make your consciousness, your mind, the writer who holds this pen. And taking wisdom from the Guru, write that account about God who has no limits. Lik naam salaha lik antara paravar. That God who has no limits, that is beyond. Write about that form of Akal Purkh who is ever existing. You should learn how to write this. There is no loss in this. The world is false. Let go of the temporary world. Write the name of Akal Purkh. Sing his praises. Write about how Akal Purkh has no end. And in the court of Dharamraj, where Karam, past actions and deeds are seen, that writing, that account which you have written, show it there. That will be your stamped account. And that stamped account will save you. Dharamraj, nor the messengers of death won't be able to say anything or touch you. So the burning of emotional attachments, the fire of spiritual wisdom received from the Guru, the grinding repetition of Naam, the complete faith in Guru, these are your everything. Gopal Pandha heard this and was absolutely blown away. Actually, Gopal Pandha, on hearing this, was a changed man forever. For him now, life would never be the same. Now he had seen and heard too much to go back to his old way of life. The teacher realized this child has the power of Akal Purkh. He is truly the benevolent one. He is the destroyer of sins. Understanding who Guruji was, Gopal Pandha, the teacher, bowed down before Guruji, placing his forehead on the ground before Guruji, doing Matha Tek. And on that day, they spoke for many hours. Guruji provided so many spiritual lessons and wisdom to Gopal Pandha, answering many of his questions. Guruji explained to him the importance of Naam, the importance of Sadh Sangat, and how to not get caught up in the material world the way many emperors and kings are. Guruji explained that the ones who God is compassionate towards, they receive Naam, they receive these lessons. And the ones who receive Naam, well, they see everything else as nothing. The dunya and the world are nothing to them. As Gopal Pandha listened to the Guru, he felt his mind becoming calm and still. Humility entered his heart. The pride of his knowledge, thinking that he knew everything and he was a great teacher, that started to die. Guruji taught the Pandha to follow the path of Naam, telling him, ingrain it in your heart. Do not be egotistical of your body, of your knowledge, your intelligence, or material positions. Do Simran and let go of the ego. Don't think of anyone else besides Waheguru. This is the true way to make your precious life a success in everything you do. Remember Waheguru. Doing this, you won't have to be born again, and you will receive the highest status of mukti. The Pandha heard this and he fell to his knees. He bowed down to Guruji's charan once again, saying, I am unwise, I bow to you. You are here to save the unwise and the ignorant. You are the giver of mukti. Your words are like a sword, and whichever warrior comes in front of you, the sword cuts their ignorance away. Guruji, seeing the Pandha's, the teacher's humility, looked upon him with compassion. And the teacher, Gopal Pandha, he went into samadhi, a deep state of spiritual meditation. He was quiet. He was in bliss, like a person eating sweets that can't speak. He couldn't describe his bliss that he was in. And on this day, Guruji provided the teacher, Gopal Pandha, with a lesson of what true education and what true knowledge is. And in this blessing and teaching, Guruji taught us and left us with so much to reflect and meditate upon. Listen to this Sakhi again and again. Reflect on the Shabad the Guruji gave us. Try and apply the teachings to your life. That Shabad, Jal mohe kas maskar, mat kagad kar sar, pao kalam kar chit likhari, gur puch lik bichar, lik naam salaha lik, antara paravar. Search this Shabad, print it out, read it, recite it, share it with your friends and family, and reflect on the meaning. And we also must burn our attachments. We also must have that grinding Simran going on as much as possible. Please forgive any and all mistakes made during the telling of this Sakhi, because to be honest, I'm just a Muruk, a fool, full of mistakes. I know nothing. But my seva here is just to share these stories with you, and for you to fall more and more in love with Guruji. Bol chuk maaf karna. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Please donate and help spread Guruji's message. Link is in the description below. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.